Hey guys, I just want to make a video real quick since we were learning a new method for doing LCM and GCF in class today during our review. So what I've done is I've chosen a question out of your review package. So the second package that you had of review questions, which was short answer questions. So number 34 here is the one I'm going to do. It says determine the least common multiple, which is LCM, of the numbers 10, 25, and 35. So I told you guys that on your exam, it's highly possible that you're going to have to do a question that is four numbers for LCM, but we'll just do this one quickly with three and reinforce the method that we were learning. So my three numbers are 10, 25, and 35. So I just want to make sure I have enough space to do my work. If you don't have enough room in your package, maybe get a notebook to do your practice questions. So I still factor all three of the numbers. So you want to get them down to just prime numbers. So if I divide 10 by 2, that's 5. I can't make 5 any smaller. So 5 is also a prime number. These are two prime numbers. I just leave it like that. 25 would be 5 times 5. I know you guys don't really need any review on that. All of this stuff you guys are very good at. So 35 is 5 times 7. Okay, so these factor trees are pretty small, but we still are going to do what we were doing, making the table. So before, we would have just looked at this and saw, okay, which are the common factors? Well, there's a 5 here, a 5 here, and a 5 here. So our GCF is 5. Okay, and we did look at that, but I just want to make sure with the new rule that you guys know how to make the table. So what we do is we make a table underneath. We're going to put our three numbers, so 10, 25, 35. And then you actually go and list all of the factors here. So the first one for number 10, it's 2 and 5. So every time you're making a new factor, you add a new column. So these are going to be a collection of 2's. So this one has a 2. I also have a 5, so I'm making a column for 5's. Okay, so that's all of the factors for 10. That's done. If I look at 25, then I'm going to put my 5's, I have to list them underneath the same number. So if I have a 5 here, I can put it underneath the 5 that I already had. So all I'm putting in this category are 5's. Okay, but now that I have a second 5, that means I have to make a new column. So this one can go here because 5 times 5 gives me 25. Okay, so I'm just circling them as I'm putting them into my table to make sure I don't forget anything. So now for 35, I have 5 again. So I would start from my 35, start from the left over here. I'm going to list the 5 that I have underneath my group of 5's. And then my 7 is another number. It doesn't fit under the 2's or in this new column of 5's. It's a new number, so I make a new column. Okay? So in this question, it was asking us for LCM, but I just want to make sure you know how to find the GCF also. So the GCF, greatest common factor, what you do from this table is you're only taking the numbers that all three of the numbers had in common. So all three of them had a 5. If there was 4 numbers, there would need to be a fourth 5 under here. Okay? There's only one 2, there's only one 5, and there's only one 7. So the GCF in this case would just be 5. If there was another group of numbers that it had all of them, then you would multiply by that number. Okay? But so here, the greatest common factor between 10, 25, and 35 is 5. Our LCM, though. From the LCM, you are multiplying 1 from each of the columns. So I'm multiplying 2 times 5 times 5 times 7. Okay, it's important that you only multiply 1. So you don't want to use each of these 5's. You only want to use one 5 from that group. So you go across the top, 2 times 5 times 5 times 7. Okay, so then you might have a lot of numbers for this. This is calculations that you guys are able to do. When it gets to a point where you're not comfortable, if you have like, I'm going to start by doing 2 times 5 is 10, and I'm going to do 5 times 7 is 35, and 10 times, now I can do 10 times 35 is 350. Okay, and that's my answer. But if you're doing this and you get to a point where you're not comfortable, if you can't do 10 times 35 in your head for whatever reason, say it was 12 times 35, then you just go on the side and actually do a long multiplication. You're able to find the answer. Okay, so in this case, the lowest common multiple of 10, 25, and 35 was 350. So if you look up in your answer key, you'll see that it was 350. Okay, so I'll do another video that has like more complicated trees for a breakdown, but this is exactly what we were looking at as this method in class today, and I think it will be easier for you to find the LCM like this.